response, Dell expanded even more aggressively. By the end of the decade, he had risen from quirky challenger to industry heavyweight. Chapter 3: Conquering the World. In June of 1988, Dell's stock debuted on the Nasdaq exchange. It was priced at a modest $8.50 a share. The response was overwhelming. Demand far outstripped the initial offering and caused the share price to soar. By the end of the day, the stock had nearly doubled. It was a stunning debut, and it solidified Dell's status as a Wall Street darling. More than that, it generated an infusion of capital that would accelerate its growth. The IPO was a watershed moment for both Dell Computer Corporation and Michael Dell personally. Dell Computer was flush with fresh capital to supercharge its operations, invest in R&D, and expand its manufacturing capacity. It had enough left over to finance its aggressive global expansion. The IPO also transformed Michael Dell into one of the youngest CEOs of a Fortune 500 company overnight. But success brought its own complexities. Publicly traded companies face intense scrutiny, endless analyst reports, and the pressure of quarterly earnings targets. Dell's youthful, freewheeling leadership style was the cornerstone of the early years, but now it needed to evolve. He had to balance the dynamism and innovation that fueled his company's rise with the discipline and consistency that shareholders demanded. Michael Dell had ambitions to make Dell computers ubiquitous worldwide, but the path to that level of dominance was littered with challenges, and they were unique to each market. However, many other countries lacked the necessary infrastructure. Dell swiftly set up local call centers staffed with multilingual representatives who understood the nuances of selling directly and building trust in regions unaccustomed to retail shopping. Japan was a major bridge to cross. In the early days, Dell faced a frustrating problem. Returns were far higher than expected, even if the usual defective units were accounted for. Dell was perplexed to discover that many of the returned computers were in perfect working order. The issue wasn't faulty hardware, but a fundamental cultural misunderstanding. Japanese consumers were accustomed to meticulous product packaging and presentation. They were returning Dell computers because the utilitarian brown cardboard boxes seemed cheap. The fact that the computer inside was top-notch didn't seem to matter. This respect for the unboxing experience ran deep. It was a cultural expectation that Dell was entirely unaware of. Rather than view this as a setback, Michael Dell saw it as a valuable lesson. He instructed his team to immediately redesign their packaging for the Japanese market. Dull boxes were out, and sleek, colorful designs that highlighted the quality of the machine were in. Information pamphlets were translated with cultural sensitivity. Dell ensured that every aspect of the unboxing process conveyed value and respect for the customer. The results were astonishing. Not only did product returns plummet, but Dell's reputation for attention to detail soared. What initially seemed like an error turned into a powerful way to demonstrate the company's adaptability. Customers recognized that Dell wasn't just imposing its US-centric approach, but genuinely listened and tailored its offerings to suit cultural preferences. By the turn of the millennium, Dell was a behemoth, but storm clouds were gathering. The early 2000s saw the dot-com bubble burst. In addition, a global recession loomed, and the meteoric rise of the PC market began to slow. Dell wasn't immune to these forces, and cracks began to appear in its once unassailable position. The relentless focus on efficiency began to breed complacency. Rivals like HP and Apple invested heavily in design and innovation, and Dell risked being perceived as predictable. Customers were no longer satisfied with merely functional computers. Dell's stock price began to steadily decline. Then the company started missing earnings targets. The golden era of easy wins was over. Michael Dell knew that resting on past laurels was a recipe for disaster. He realized that Dell's survival and return to dominance hinged on rediscovering its innovative spirit. The company had to redefine what it meant to be a leader in the 21st century. Under Michael Dell's leadership, Dell embarked on a strategic overhaul. He recognized the limitations of the PC-centric model and steered his company towards diversification. This was not a random expansion, but a carefully targeted acquisition plan. He was going to build a comprehensive portfolio of offerings aimed at meeting the evolving needs of business customers. Dell shifted its focus away from the cutthroat consumer market. At the same time, it leaned heavily into the lucrative enterprise sector. Businesses weren't just buying computers, they needed scalable IT solutions. Dell could now offer secure data management and expert support. Armed with its acquisitions and a renewed focus on quality and innovation, Dell positioned itself as the answer. In 2013, Michael Dell shocked the business world when he announced a plan to take Dell private again. He partnered with Silver Lake Partners, an investment firm, in a massive $25 billion buyout, removing Dell from the public stock market. It was a controversial move and was met with mixed reactions. Some analysts decried it. They saw it as a retreat, while others viewed it as a strategic masterstroke. Michael Dell's argument was sound. As a private company, Dell could make the bold, long-term strategic investments essential to its transformation. They could also do so without the relentless pressure of quarterly earnings and the short-term focus of the stock market. It was a bet on restructuring and reshaping the company away from the prying eyes of Wall Street. Today, the legacy of Michael Dell's dorm room bet lives on. Dell Technologies is a true technology powerhouse. It's a company that has repeatedly reinvented itself, rising from every challenge with a resilience that defines its core. As a privately held company, Dell is free to play the long game. The results speak for themselves. In its fiscal year of 2023, Dell Technologies generated just over $100 billion in revenue. This cemented its place as one of the largest technology providers in the world. Dell Technologies' influence extends globally. It has a massive workforce of over 130,000 employees spread across 180 countries. This network of talent, manufacturing hubs, and R&D centers gives Dell an enviable scale. It allows them to address diverse customer needs across a wide range of industries and markets. Beyond the raw numbers, Dell Technologies continues to be a driving force in shaping where technology is headed. They invest heavily in research and development. As always, the company prioritizes cutting-edge solutions in areas like cloud computing, advanced storage systems, and cybersecurity. Dell's story is the quintessential entrepreneurial journey. A story about the power of vision, audacity, and an unwavering belief in challenging the status quo. From that cluttered dorm room, Michael Dell ignited a revolution. He didn't just redefine how to build and sell computers, but transformed how people thought about them. He democratized access to powerful technology. And more than anything else, he placed the customer at the center of a global enterprise. From its inception to 2024, Dell has left a profound mark on the tech industry. The company has proved the viability of direct sales, forcing competitors to streamline. It cut out inefficiencies and focused on delivering better value. Dell's lean manufacturing model became a benchmark. Its emphasis on just-in-time inventory influenced industries far beyond the tech space. Of course, Dell's journey is far from over. Michael Dell, the dorm room visionary, likely won't be satisfied with merely being an industry giant. Whether it's pursuing breakthrough technologies or further expanding into the enterprise space, we can be sure that Dell Technologies will keep pushing boundaries.